Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the AI Cash Grain podcast. Today is July 31st. I'm Satish, Director of Data-Driven Strategies for Quantum Hedging. Today, what I have for you is a trade alert. It is the end of the month, the end of July. As I speak, corn is trading down to about $4. Beans are trading down to about $10.17. The models, we ran through all the models last night, our forecast models, our simulation models. Corn is moderately bearish. Soybeans also showed some moderately bearish. As a result, when we ran them through our simulation models, corn, the simulation basically said sell 10%. We are 50% sold coming into today. We want to sell another 10% on today's close to get to 60% sold. When it comes to beans, we were 40% sold coming into today. We want to sell another 15% today to get to 55% sold overall. So just in terms of why we come to that, again, our goal with the AI Cash Grain podcast and our recommendations is to beat the typical producer cash sale index. It's a benchmark of predetermined strategy of selling an increasing percentage at the end of every month. At the end of July, it's going to be selling 15% in both corn and beans to get to a total of 55% sold at the end of July. So the benchmark that we have is going to be 55% sold in corn, 55% sold in beans. When we look at corn, we are ahead of that benchmark. So we've been oversold up until now. We were 50% sold. The benchmark's only 40% sold. But today, the benchmark on the close will get to 55. We're also 7 cents ahead. So we're recommending you sell 10% of your corn on the close. That'll still give us a slightly bearish stance with 5% oversold. We'll be 60% as of the close. The benchmark will be at 55%. When we look the forecasts out, we'll be tracking to about a 10 cent outperformance versus the benchmark by the end of the year. So that's what we're predicting right now, is by following our recommendations through the end of the year, we'll do 10 cents better than the benchmark. So sell 10 cents, 10% there of your corn to get to 60% sold. With respect to beans, we're matching the index. We're 40% sold today. The index is 40% sold. We're recommending sell 15% on the close today. The benchmark is also going to be selling 15%. That's predetermined. The benchmark will be selling 15%. So we're maintaining a neutral stance with no deviation from the percent sold benchmark that we have. So we're going to be 55% sold. The benchmark will be 55% sold. We are ahead. We're about 12 cents ahead. We forecast that'll get watered down a little because we're matching the index, and we'll beat by about 5 cents by the end of the year. But we want to stay matched with the index. The recommendation is sell 15% today on the close to get to a total of 55%. So again, recapping, corn and beans are down today. Models are both moderately bearish. We want you to sell 10% of your corn to get to a total of 60% sold. That'll be a 5% oversell. So we want to go from 50% to 60% on today's close. In beans, we want to go from 40 to 55%, which will be a neutral stance. If you have any questions, feel free to email us. Again, those recommendations are for the close today. Thank you, and we'll see you this weekend where we'll be talking about this a lot more on the weekend and what we see for future down the line.